Hello, everybody. It's Beth here, your touring vocalist and voice coach. And today we are talking about properly checking the microphone. As singers, we are always checking the microphone before the gig, before a show, before our session. And what's super important to understand is that the level of the microphone and the level of our voice going into the microphone has got to be checked, and it has got to be just the right level. An important fact to understand when we're checking the microphone is, where is the sound going? Are we checking the microphone for the main PA, the outside speakers going to the audience? Or are we checking the microphone for our own personal level? Do we have a monitor? Do we have in-ears? Sometimes checking those levels can be two different things. There are a few very important things to remember when checking the mic. And first, one of the most important things is what not to do. We never want to blow into the microphone to check it. When you see people grab the mic and they go to see if there is sound going into the mic, that's the biggest no-no there is. The reason for this is there is a diaphragm within the microphone. This absorbs and magnifies the sound. In certain microphones, it is so delicate that the force of the air by someone blowing in it can break this. We never want that to happen. The other thing you don't want to do is speak in the microphone really quietly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then get ready to sing! Because as you can hear, these are two completely different levels. And the reason why we're checking the mic is not only to see that the microphone is on, but to see that it is the right level to magnify your voice. The ideal way to check the microphone is the level in which you are singing. Yes, of course, there are singers that are quiet and there are singers that are louder, but in general, we've got a volume in which we sing. So the most ideal way is to get up there, start singing in the microphone. Yeah, 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 yeah. This way, we have a level in which we are singing. We know if it's going to match with the music. We know if it's a good level for the audience. We as singers are going to be in all different kinds of situations. Sometimes we will be in a smaller situation where the PA is right behind us or very close to us, and we have control over the volume of our microphone. Sometimes we will be in a larger situation where there is an engineer, a different person taking care of the levels of our vocals, perhaps both in our monitors or in ears, and the level of what's going out into the audience. In which case, sometimes we have control over what we call our EQ. EQ is short for equalization, and this is where we can change the frequencies in our voice. If we want something a little more high frequency, and those are the tinny sounds. If we need something a little more low, and those are the rounder, bassy sounds. We can change these frequencies if we're running our microphone through a board that has these capabilities, or if we're in a situation where there is another engineer taking care of our microphone sound. And it's good to understand these different frequencies because the microphone is going to pick up different frequencies in our voice, and also what we like to hear is going to change in our voice. When checking the microphone, if we're not happy with the tone, the sound that's coming out of the mic, we might say, well, we want a little more of the high end. And if we turn up the high end, we're going to get sounds like this, where it brings out a little more of the sibilance. It brings the higher end frequencies to the forefront. Or we can make changes to the mid-range. This is going to be those middle frequencies where, again, depending on the mic or the sound of your own voice, we can take these in or we can take these out. And then we have our low frequencies. These are the ones that are going to make us sound a little richer, a little fuller, and we can bring these in just like this, or we can bring them out to change the EQ on our voice. Then, while we're checking our microphone, if you have a board that has these capabilities or you're working with an engineer that can do this for you, we have the option of checking on the amount of reverb that we have or delay that we have. These are two different effects that we can add to our voice to make it sound a little more like it's in the middle of a song. And we can add in these effects or we can take them out depending on what we like to hear in our own voices while we're singing. If we mess around a little bit with reverb and we turn the reverb up, we're going to get more of this kind of sound. It sounds very echoey. It sounds like you're in a cave. But a little bit of this on your mic when you're singing makes it sound really warm. Or we can mess around with something called delay. And this adds to the fullness of the sound when it's in the music. And depending on how much you like, you can add more delay. Or you can take some of the delay away. Be sure when you're checking the mic that you get exactly what you need, be it giving it to yourself if you're running your own sound, or if someone else is doing it for you. Be sure to ask for what you need and be sure to check properly so that you can get the best level of your mic possible.